in nature, these mushrooms, like where are they found, right? They're fungus that are found on a lot of times, like, areas of soil that's been disturbed, wood that's decaying, right? So my first question is always, how do these mushrooms know to go there, right? Like we know the reproduction system of them. They have spores and they resettle and everything else, and the mycelia underneath and the communication, everything else. But like, how do these mushrooms know? Like last year in my yard, I live in a wooded area, and we built a new house, and all of our soil was disturbed. And within like the first 3 months, right? I moved in July. Actually, by August, we had all these like orange peel mushrooms growing all over our soil, like all over our soil, right? And for my first question was like, how did this mushroom get here? Was it just like waiting, right? And then it just popped in. I'm like, innately, like nature's got that ability just to present what needs to be, where it needs to be, when it needs to be there, right? So these mushrooms in nature are there because they need to rehabilitate, right? A dysbiotic state or environment or place. So in the body is doing the same thing. Like, how can it not be doing the same thing, right? And then we can go down the rabbit hole of, genetic ancestry, right? So like we don't have to, but when there's a mushroom that grows on a decaying piece of wood, like it's breaking down everything there, right? It's helping to break it down. And the byproducts of that are being fed into the mushroom for nutrition, but the rest of the nutrition is left there, right? So that the environment can rehabilitate, regrow, and, thrive again, right? So everything in nature is just bound as one, right? Like our genetic material, really what we're made up of is the same stuff that nature is made up of, right? So how can a mushroom distinguish between nature and humanity, right? So when a mushroom heals something in nature, and then when we ingest the mushroom, how can it not be doing the same thing, right? So that's unscientific, but like in reality, when you think about mushrooms, when nature presents mushrooms to humanity and we use them, we've determined that we can use them for medicine to help people, thousands of years ago up until now. It's got to be doing something, right? Like it's got to be taking its genetic ancestral memory from, what it decays in nature. It's got to be helping our DNA or helping our healing process in our body, because we're all made of the same stuff. So I don't talk about that kind of stuff to patients. Who knows what the perspectives are, right? But innately in my personal life, I look at mushrooms. I go for hikes, I go for walks, and I'm always seeing mushrooms, right? And this, what you need in life is drawn into your life, and you recognize, right? And you acknowledge it. And then all of a sudden, it's like when you never see like an orange car. And then all of a sudden you talk about an orange car and you see an orange car like everywhere you go, right? For the next for months, right?
Yeah.
But it's what you draw into your life, as will be drawn in when it needs to be drawn in, right? So I see mushrooms all the time, and there's a purpose for all of them. That's my story in personal life. That's one of my passions, is to learn more about mushrooms and understand from a nature perspective what they mean and what they're doing.